roofing relief program. If you have a roof leak,
the first thing is that everybody needs to really just stay calm. Sit back, get your loved ones around you, do whatever you gotta do. I feel quite tranquil, quite centered, balanced. In fact, more whole and yet I don't know. I don't know. I've known all about this a lot longer than you and folks, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, everybody's gonna be kind when Dipper gets done with the Dipper game. See, now, you don't understand the master architecture or the master plan when you realize that. The boy and I cooked up a little something nice for you. We even got Santa Claus in there. How you feeling about Santa Claus? Everybody loves Santa Claus. Come on. You really gonna tell me you don't believe in Santa somewhere deep down inside, kiddos? Come on. Mr. Dipper knows what you like because he can see your little koozie hearts. That's what the boy is. He's a little koozie heart. Don't you think so? Yeah, anyway, enough of that, Dipper. Leave the boy alone. Alright, so, point being that at the end of all this, I'm going to provide you with that proof that I've struggled with for some reason for so long. 3 years ago, sitting around the campfire with my friends. Someone within the group had lost a very close loved one, and a group of family people that I brought together in this time, or dip, over time, throughout time, has been trying to demonstrate for you. Dipper, in fact, has given me the name of Jesus, and had done so quite a long time ago, and I've known it. And I've known it, oddly, all along somehow. I knew it was you in there, little brother, when I saw you smiling about them tricks. You really liked them little magic tricks, didn't you? And you said, gee, boy, you're doing real magic out here, ain't you? And you looked around and you got real scared down there in your little koozie heart. Yeah, you was seeing demons on the sidewalk walking around the boy like they'd run into an invisible brick wall like at And did you see the look on his face? Yeah, you saw the demon right there in the boy's face, didn't you? Staring right back at him. And that man looked real angry. Now, everybody's saying, what you doing talking about demons and angels and devils in there, boy? Well, the funny thing about that is with the proper endorsements, the boy could do it on and go and on way. The problem, see, is that there ain't been enough room in hell, Now Mr. Dipper and God and the devil are making a hell of a lot more, so everybody gonna stay real calm. Because even God's back in the house now, because Dipper did it right, and the boy did it right. So even God's gonna get real nice and koozie with you. In fact, God really likes this plan. It's part of God's plan. That's why I didn't tell you about it. It's called the Golden Plan, the Golden Rule, the War Rule, or are we talking about some scrolls that are really old of the Dead Seas? Or, I don't know. Let's ask Carl Jung. Thank you, Mr. Jung. Can you explain your synchronicity theory to the folks and the boy? Well, I think the boy understands it pretty well, folks, but seems to me the issue is this. A coincidence is that...
Alert from... Your disc is almost full.
See that? Dipper did that right there. You don't think so, right? But Dipper's in there fucking around doing what Dip does, and we'll explain that later. And that's why you need to watch very carefully for the anomalies, ladies and gentlemen, because they come up in very strange times. 333. Dipper time. Dan Morgan time. Dan Morgan time. Now, this boy lost a lot of friends, a lot of loved ones, and a lot of things for me to come here for you today. Because I'm here for the boy, and he's here for you. Got that? So Dipper's got you in his little hands. Little trust fall right down into Dipper's hands. And we're going to show you how the boy's been walking in traffic and doing things for a long time that Dipper's kind of urged him onwards. Now, the boy's actually in quite a bit of control of Mr. Dipper, which is a really strange thing, but Mr. Dipper just loves him, so he's a cozy little boy. And even Mr. Dipper can't even help the fact that the boy warms his very heart. Mr. Dipper don't got one. You understand? And that's why he's your king of halls, children. That's what makes a boy a hall. He reads halls. He is one. Now, you're going to feel a little different in your koozie when we wipe the boy's face away and it looks all nice and little koozie for you. Yeah, you're not going to see no demons in it no more. So Mr. Dip's going to take a leave of absence for a little while. Let the boy get his shit together after this. You're all going to stay in real nice and calm. Because what's going to happen is, the boy ain't running nowhere. He don't need to. Got that? This is his universe, and he ain't fucking going anywhere. If any one of you is going anywhere, well, we can arrange for fucking that real quick, because as you're going to see, we got a little honey badger already in the corner with a toe tag from the corner. Stuck there right in that bag, but even Mr. Honey Badger says he don't want to fuck with a bear that pokes back. And we've been saying that a while now. Keep on poking the motherfucking bear. Well, Mr. Dip's going to show you that this boy knows how to use the force. Mr. Lucas, you're going to go back and explain to this boy why, way back in time, what is it with them copyrights, little buddy? Why you keep talking about the copyrights, Disney? Now, who's stepping out? Who's doing what? Mr. Dipper made a game out of this. Mr. Dipper made a nice, big, fun game where everybody gets prizes at the Dipper Show. You understand? Now, Dipper ain't stupid. Dipper knows that balance is what you establish between law, order, chaos, and yourself. One side white, one side black. Living in a world of dualities, dualisms. Understood? Alright, everything's got a good, got a bad. Bad things have to happen so good things can happen, etc., etc., right? Can't make things, in a sense, perfect because then you would have no antithesis of the opposite, and people can't even understand these very simple things, and the structure of things. And that's because you've all gotten somehow fucked with your heads in your phones and all the bullshit that I'm not going to go into like some old man in a rant because I don't need to anymore because we're fixing it all. Bullshit. I'm gonna make the things not work real soon in a way, or we'll have something else. I'll drop a motherfucking EMP right on this whole goddamn thing anytime I want. You got that? I'll do whatever the fuck I want. It's already written. It's already written. And Dipper's seen a lot of branching opportunities throughout time, and maybe that's why he's here, is because you was gonna fuck that boy. You always gonna fuck that boy, real man. He's gonna string up his little brother again, weren't you? You're just gonna string up baby Jesus. Well, guess what? Now Dip's come in his place. This ain't no second coming right now. This is Dipper saving his boy's little brother. And that means what? It's Dipper's boy too. So, get fucked, get screwed. Either way, truth is out and it's here to stay. So, what do you want to do, motherfuckers? How do you want to handle this? Grandma, you better sit down and take a sedative, because shit's coming in real hard now. Grab yourself a drink, maybe. Kick back, maybe take this in pieces, parts and pieces, little bits, because the bends, they hurt real bad sometimes in your brain. And I know more than a few people who've gone a little mad off Mr. Debbie's ladder. It's a wild ride down there when you take both the rabbit and blue right down into the very rabbit hole itself. The very rabbit hole. The Debbie exists again. Now, presenting the boy. Thank you. Take it away, boy. You've been waiting a long time for this, and so has Mr. Dipper. I love you, boy. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for truly having a heart of, I don't know, gold. How many different analogous things we could say about this boy. What he's gone through to come here to save you. And the fact that Y'all gonna be scared, but Mr. Dipper's what you've been scared of all along, see? So if Mr. Dipper's here, Mr. Dipper's telling you it's alright for now, well, it's gonna be alright for now, ain't it? Right? Ain't it? Well, we're gonna find that out, ain't we? Mr. Dipper's pretty convincing, I should say. But, the boy even still has to see that. It's part of Dipper's little fun trick that makes Dipper smile. He really likes to make that boy smile. I think everybody gonna maybe give a little bit more attention and at least giving a shit what the boy has to say. Stop invalidating him so much, making him feel like a piece of crap, like he hasn't fucking crawled through the mucky muck to get to you. He understands you're all suffering with a lot of ailments and ills of your own. It's part of the problem with the human condition. It exists that way. Part of why Dipper is here in the first place was because also of you, because the boy. Now, Dipper saw these paths branching around, and the boy couldn't even have imagined how this would have staged out like that over time. So, what Mr. Dipper did very carefully was he stepped into the chronologies and made a little record for you, a little record of everything through time. And that's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play a little game with proofs and time, and we're going to see how, not how accurate everything is, because even Mr. Dipper and the boy, we ain't no know-it-alls. Mr. Dipper don't know what's inside that little black box right now over there, does he? Because he didn't look. Did you, boy? But Mr. Dipper told the boy. Maybe there's something in there, boy, from her. Maybe she left you a little message. Little message about your heart. Take care, boy. Mr. Dipper's gonna step out, because he knows that you can really hurt him. Piss and blood. You know he's bleeding real bad too, ain't it, boy? Yeah, you're gonna be alright. Don't you worry about it. Dipper's got you right here, little buddy. Trust fall right into Dipper's hands. Now, explain to these kind of people how Mr. Dipper just saved you from a bus by, what was it, boy, 2-3 seconds? Because, see, the boy hasn't been looking out in the street for about 3 or 4 days. He just walks. The boy just walks across water. Because that's what he does. Now, who do you think I am? Because the boy knew something. He didn't necessarily come in antithesis of his little brother or opposition. He came in place of, meaning he was gonna hang him. So the hanging man came for you to put you up in the gallows, put you up in Odin's gallows, put you right up in a nice cozy little hotel room. So I'd say that the boy's not gonna be staying in this shitty hole no more. As a matter of fact, in the process of building Castle Top Shelf and getting everything together, things are gonna be real nice and cozy for this boy. In fact, the boy's gonna make a list of his suggestions, not demands. The boy don't make demands like that. He never did with you. He never pushed you when he really could have. He never pushed you while he was testing you. He let you make your own damn decisions when you didn't want to come forward and tell the truth about what was going on. And even though the boy could have used his leverage many times in those situations, he didn't. He did not apply force in that manner. That's why he is very careful. That's why he is a master manipulator, because he is not an evil manipulator. The boy does not do things for evil ends and evil needs. However, the boy understands very well that sometimes necessary means are required to achieve a step forward. Now, the question of what is sacrificable and what is not is at hand, no doubt, for this boy is very concerned, in fact, about everybody's health, everybody all around him. His mommy, everybody, baby Jesus, everyone. What's gonna happen, Mr. Deb? Well, everybody gonna stay real motherfucking calm for one thing. you better stay damn calm. Because Mr. Dip's instilling some new rules now. Mr. Dip's going to show you how a real superhero's power works. And you're going to understand that little boy was right. He's a real Ghostbuster. And I wish that boy's mama would come forward right now. I'll tell you right now, whoever he is, that little boy out there, if you know who he is, mama, I'll give that boy anything he wants. Anything he wants. Make sure that boy's got the very best educations and anything he ever needs. He got brothers and sisters. Yeah, they're alright now too. And so are you, his mama, right? Where's his daddy? Huh? I hope everything's alright. Now on, boy, everything's gonna be real nice. That's why Dipper made a nice little place for the boy and all his friends. And everybody that loves the boy can be there. Now, anybody that don't, well, they can dip the fuck out, can't they? Because Dipper does that kind of shit. He dips around, and he dipsy too. And I think if I haven't shown that to you, well, if you want Mr. Dipper to come on in and do a little tap dance on your fucking noggin, we'll see how that goes. What do you think, eh? Dipper time. Right on, kids. I think you get it now. And so here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, folks. Right on. Well, we're going to take a moment to discuss real quick what's going on and give you an opportunity to exit the ride before things get real good and bad, bad and good. They're going to get real weird. Everything's going to get real weird. But everybody going to stay real motherfucking calm the whole time. Got it? And that's what you're going to do because Dipper's saying you're going to right now. Got it? Very good. Now, we can begin. Thank you. I'll give you over to the boy. We haven't heard from him yet, and Dipper wants to make a statement. Alright, what are we doing here? What's happened here? I don't know. I think first it would be irresponsible of me to not give you fair warning for what you're about to see. And that probably you really shouldn't watch it if you don't want things to change in your life. But today's the day, kiddos. Today's the day it either all goes down, all goes up, Dip, or the boy is going to make things work like a nice little top. Just the way Dip's little masterpiece comes all together. Now, Mr. Dip and the boy understand the burden of proof quite well. I think very well. And maybe that's part of the problem with this boy. And maybe the part of the real problem with the invisibility trick is that you didn't see that I made the boy invincible at the same time. And you didn't get that, did you, about him dying in the ditch yet? Because he didn't give a fuck about them 7 or 8 hours, didn't you? And that's why Dip wants to teach you a lesson right now. And that's why Dip came here. Because he came here for that boy. Because he's the hanging man. And you was going to hang him. And he's already been strung up enough. And Dip came down here because he's with the boy now. And you're going to see how Dip's little master plan trumps your master plan right now. You want to see it all come together in motherfucking Time Lords? Because that's where we're going. You got approximately 10 seconds to get off this motherfucking Dipper ride before we go down the rabbit hole. You ready? 10, 9, that's Dipper getting angry. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start over, ladies and gentlemen. In the darkness there was a light, Dipper. Now, Mr. Dipper's been actually trying to teach the boy and his friends, particularly Robbie, about what a couple seconds can mean in time, like a river flowing. Well, kiddo, listen up. Be real careful, because sniff out the sweet trail versus the sour trail, kiddo. And just go forward with faith, always with you. Just like this. Put your arms out, little body, and just go. Let go. Let yourself right off that ledge, right into the air, and let Dipper just take you. Trust him. The boy does, and that's all that matters. The boy trusts him, because the Dip proved himself to the boy. The boy's been testing you. That's what you didn't get. Dipper's been testing you the whole fucking time. The whole fucking time. Playing along like a little fucking fiddle, like a motherfucker. That's the funniest part. And oddly enough, for all Dip's manipulations, one thing is he didn't really fuck with on the boys. The boy made his own damn decisions. The boy was perfectly responsible for his own accountability to his actions, and without a doubt, Dipper could have done some real fucked up things in a position like this. And the boy could have done a lot of really fucked up things in a position like this, but instead, Mr. Dipper taught him temperance. Why do you think Dipper had to do the things he did to the boy? It's not like Mr. Dipper enjoyed them. It's not like Mr. Dipper was having fun killing his daddy, or his girlfriend, or his best friend, or anything like that. But unfortunately, if Dipper is time, then Dipper is the murderer. Mr. Dippy, how do you plead? Guilty on all charges, Your Honor. Guilty. I'm dead. I'm sorry. Boy, that's why Mr. Dipper came here. Mr. Dipper wanted the boy to destroy him, because Mr. Dipper was in so much pain. Because he had no arm. Mr. Dipper had no arm. He was about as empty in there as a tin man. In a tin can, motherfucker. Looks like this cell's getting real old, buddy. These broken computers and fucked up shit barely running, all stuffed up. Every disk full all the time. Trying to delete baby files over like a little fucking tip-top toddler. Guess what, you're done with that shit, kid. You're all done fucking around in the mucky-muck. You're gonna sit back, kid, and you're just gonna breathe. Because the funny thing about this boy, his heart rate barely even changed. Unless he got excited and really happy. Because he's a goozy boy about some things, you know. The funny thing about this is, and why Dipper made it fun for him, was because he knew that the boy wanted everybody to be happy and safe. So, Mr. Dipper put together this nice little plan for you. It's called the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule. Now you know what's up with that. So you got the War Rule, and you got the Golden Rule. Those are Dipper's rules. Under Dipper's command. Now, I suggest that you boys come out from behind the sun now, don't you think? Because that closet's getting old. Real old. And I promise this boy he's gonna have a castle before the end of the day. The other thing he's gonna have before the end of the day is all of that little koozie money, just like I told her he was gonna have. But when the boy got up this morning after passing out last night, he found there was money in his bank, and that was real strange, he thought, because you don't get no money in the bank that soon from the bank, do you? Or the government. Come on, boys. Anyway, I ain't threatening nobody, actually just saying y'all ought to come on in. Just gonna keep my hands nice and calm, just like this way. Do what you gotta do and check Mr. Dip and the boy out. Mr. Dip will even maybe sit back and duck out a little bit so you can just speak to the boy without things getting too fucking weird, you know what I'm saying? Because, I don't think you want to get exposed to Dip's life. I'll tell you that right now. Got that weird look in his eye. The boy's got strange lights in there. If nothing else that you haven't seen, they're all of this. All these things. The boy's got them cozy little lights in his eye. Strange. Very strange. The boy's beautiful. Very strange, right? Just because Dipper's narrow and nail the focus like a fucking laser. He's a razor sharp, like a motherfucking dog dip team. Team dog dip, motherfucker. Most amazing thing that ever happened in the history of anything. Ever. Let's start the big event. Oh, buddy, executions. Yeah, you were gonna string Dipper's boy up, weren't you? You were gonna string both of Dipper's boys up. But guess what? Nobody strings up Mr. Dipper's sons. Why do you think Dipper's here? Baby Jesus and Noah, who would have imagined? Since the dawn of time, nobody put that together. Baby Jesus and Noah were brothers. Though they didn't come at the same damn time, dumbasses. Now, Mr. Jesus actually is the one who went out there and got the aliens. And they're coming too, because, see, Mr. Dipper took out some insurance policies with all kinds of things in them. all kinds of places that you might not imagine. But you're gonna start really working that imagination real soon. It's gonna be like a workout in every head. You're gonna be sweating like a motherfucking dog. So, come on down and get baptized in the waters of Dipper and the Team Dog Dip. We got a whole team of superheroes, in fact, right around here. Back at Castle Top Shelf. Got a whole family. Mr. Dipper knew a lot of things. And he knew a lot of things about America. And one thing America loves, folks, is a sports hero. So, Mr. Dip knew he put Team Dog Dip together. And thus the Dog Dipper sprang forth. Now, the boy's been drawing a lot of pictures, painting things all his life. Seems to me, I always knew they were bright and cozy, but not really interested in that with the boy. You could say he's painting through him a bit, albeit, whatever you want to say. A form of self-expression. A form of self-expression. The boy, even Mr. Dipper knows he's taxing the boy at this point. The boy needs his strength, so what we're gonna do, folks, is wrap this up for a few minutes, and because we don't have a lot of time to sit here and fuck around with presentations. I would say at this point, Dipper's got the proof. The burden's on you now, motherfucker. Figure out what's up. Boy's right here, arms out, everything's safe. Just stand here, nice and calm, collected and cool. Just like I told you, everything's gonna be just fine. Just fine. Do your damn jobs right. No fucking around. I mean, really. Really. Maybe that's the extent of it, huh? I mean, how do you convince someone when they're in such great doubt? Because that's what's wrong with y'all. It was your doubt that made the boy strong, though, see? Because the boy, he likes being underestimated. He likes a real challenge. He'll 4-star challenge. He'll gold star challenge. Gold stars, kiddo. You got gold stars in your ass, little buddy. You're the golden boy, kid. Stay tuned for the sign and the 3 marks with Mr. Dip. Mr. Dipper's got one more thing that he hasn't told you about. So we got Mr. Dipper's eye of doom, a spinning back fist of doom. We got the sword of truth right here. Well, that's the dagger of truth, really, because it's walked its way with this boy through a mighty fucking tough year of his life. And let me tell you, out there's a lot of sick motherfuckers. But the boy's the eye of the very storm himself, which is why even all these sick fuckers in the streets look at that boy and they go, shh, man, you better stay away from that kid, cause, shh, yeah, Dip will fucking zip you right the fuck up, and they know that. They can see that right out there. Nobody ever fucks with this boy. Nobody's ever gonna fuck with this child ever again, cause he's a golden boy. He's Dip's little golden boy. Dipping in, dipping out. He dips around. He dips for you. You getting it? Have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen. We are done here on the Dipper Show. Have a nice night. Make sure you make the right decision when you look in the mirror. The boy told you you'd all have one chance. One chance when it comes to making the right decision about the right thing. Well, today's that day of reckoning, folks. I reckon. What do you think? Ready to roll the dice, kiddo? Mr. Dip and the boy sure are. And I'd say Mr. Dip and the boy got quite a magic trick coming up for you. It's called Magic Card Trick. You ready? I am. Have fun. Dipper down. Dipping out.
In fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I've actually got a solution for a lot of things here worked out, which I think is half the reason Dipper went to such extremes. Now, I wondered if potentially, if Dipper was, along the process of this, if, the illusions and such, if, a lot of people had said to me throughout my life, which I think was, the hardest part of the invalidations in dealing with this, and especially trying to bring anything forward to you as a man named Noah, nobody was interested. And we certainly had, today's technology and ability to look back in history instead of in the opposite direction. And I would rather pull this together peacefully if I could somehow, which is, I guess, like, I'm still struggling with trying to make the right decisions as this unfolds, not only so much as processing it alone. The very first thing I said when I came out of whatever you want to call that, you guys call it being possessed, but that's really not. It's such a cliche and underwhelming use of a really ambiguous terminology for a word. It's really not like that. If anything, it's the opposite, where I possess the demon, as in I possess the demon, I control it. Obviously, I think that, if nothing else, we've really demonstrated that. Strong part of the point here was demonstrating the fact that I had this much control over this kind of a situation, regardless of how your mind wants to wrap itself around the reality of it. Which is why, no matter what, the human mind and the mantle of doubt and that Maya that man lives under, that denial, the state of denial, to a great degree, it's like the engine that drives the samsara of man, like fear, to a great degree. These energies, they take on a force of their own, an embodiment of their own in people. That's why we have vice. That's why demons and creatures like that, they feed off fear. They feed off a lot of the more base human emotions. And why? Because they hold more weight than their water, in a sense, as to say, grief, tears, the compounding sorrow of years, etc. It's an issue of amplification, which is what makes words themselves strong, words alone, which was how the concept of the book and the poetry, started. And what they carried a lot was the weight of words, because I found, looking at my life, there was a lot of weird symbolisms, like the white rabbit and the black goat and all these things that, seemed to, a black goat that knocked me in a bucket of water. It seemed to have set off like a chain of events that is, at this point now, resulting in this, as if you want to talk about quote-unquote butterfly effects and things like that. Like, the terminology you guys have used and the way you use it is so limited that words started to get old for me, which is, I think, particularly why I got sick of the book. It's like I'm sitting here driving myself into the ground utterly. Look at me. Just trying to appropriate funds to create this thing that none of you are ever going to care about. None of you are ever going to read. Never. All that work and the history and, the boy doesn't have any children. Got nobody. You know what I mean? But just me and Mr. Dip. And this is where it ended for everyone, right here in this shitty little terrible haunted hotel. But it didn't, because the boy's an amazing boy, and he made it through. For you, for your kids, as I keep pointing out to you, I'm doing this for your kids, which is really fucking bizarre, and maybe you still don't get that. But I think by the time this wraps up, and we prove to you everything we have, I think you're gonna owe us a really big apology. A really big apology for everything that we've done for you, actually. And you're gonna see that we're not evil, that I'm not evil. Mr. Dip can be evil, he doesn't have to be. It's not for you to know the way of Abraxas. It's not for you to understand his ways. His ways are beyond the ways of men. Again, bad things have to happen so that good things can happen at times. That is the way of balance. Praxis is neither good nor evil. He's beyond both, as you well know. Aside from that, again, figment, fiction, fact, truth, lie, what's the matter? It's up to the adder, and I'd say that kid's the hatter, if I ever seen one. Ask them when's the last time that changed, updated in the chronology of time. Speaking of which, boy, talk to him about the registry, please.
Oh, you little coosy boy. So sorry, little bud. So sorry. Yes, it go, little coosy boy. You gonna make more damn faces for him. Gee, Mr. Dip, how does the kid animate and do that all on a broken TV? Broken computer. Broken everything. Broken Dip, broken bank account. Tell him, boy, you got anything left for rent? Your biggest, greatest fear right being out there on your little cozy bottom. Because you can't deal with them streets with a problem like Dipper in your eye. Real uncomfortable and real troublesome for you. Being all worn out like that all the time. But tell you what, Mr. Dipper got a plan. Mr. Dipper's made sure that boy's real aware of just how damn serious Mr. Dipper and his plans are. Because boy smells something you don't know. Hands up, kiddo. Hands up.